Surprise, surprise, Mel Gibson is crazy. And I finally figured out how to make my camera work so it's not an awful orange tinge. Boom, bang, pow, 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 doo doo doo. So this is old news, and by old I mean more than 2 years, 3 years. I don't even remember how old this news is. But Mel Gibson is crazy. He made a movie called The Passion of the Christ, which upset a lot of Jews. I'm not really sure how that worked, but I'll get to that in a minute. And then he ended up being drunk and driving and having an alcohol problem and getting pulled over and calling some cop a fucking Jew or something like that. I don't remember exactly how the story went. I didn't really pay that much attention to it because it didn't really matter. If Mel Gibson wants to be an anti-semite, then that's his problem, not mine. The whole point is that everybody thought or found out that Mel Gibson is crazy, which I don't totally understand. If you look at his movie career, he played Max in the Mad Max series, and then he played Briggs in the Lethal Weapon series, and then he did some crazy movie called What Women Want, and played somebody who could hear what women were thinking, and then he played a pastor in Signs, or Reverend, whatever you want to call him, in Signs, and all those roles were crazy. Braveheart, he played a crazy Scotsman. Basically, any movie that you look at he's in, he plays a crazy person. So why does it surprise you that he's actually a crazy person in real life? Usually the best actors are people who can get into their roles. And the best way to be into your roles is by being that in real life. But either way, it shouldn't have surprised anybody that Mel Gibson turned out to be sort of loony in the head. And I don't totally understand why people didn't see it before. Anyways, then he makes this movie called Passion of the Christ. And it's basically the telling of the last days of Jesus Christ and his crucifixion, and how he was betrayed by Judas, and the Jews took him away and they crucified him. Now the Jews got really upset about this because it put a bad light on the Jews. Now I realize that the Jewish belief, or from what I gather, the Jewish belief doesn't believe in the New Testament of the Bible, and so they may not have read how the story goes. But as far as I've read the story, as far as I can gather from it, Jesus was pretty much an anti-Semite himself, and the Jews didn't like it, and the Jews made him out to be the bad guy, and they got mob mentality, and they ended up crucifying him. Oh no, 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 that's not what happened at all, some people say, the Jews say. I have nothing against the Jews, let's just clarify that right now. Nothing wrong with being Jewish, doesn't bother me at all. Just when you're going off on somebody because they have a story that makes Jews look bad, ease up a little bit. Anyways, where was I? Yes, the Jews got mad because Mel Gibson made a story that was written however long ago about the Jews being bad people. Because Mel Gibson must have wrote the story a long time ago, and I don't know, it just doesn't make any sense to me, because that's how the story goes, and that's how the story's always gone, and the Jews are the bad people in the story. So why are you mad? Other than the fact that he made it more publicly available for people to watch. The fact that Mel Gibson turned out to be an anti-semite or made some anti-semitic remarks, that just sort of fueled the fire even more. But still, whether he chooses to be that or not has no relation to the story that was told in that movie. Because whether he made the Jews look bad in that movie or not, that's how the story went. So he wasn't lying by making that movie.
You've been watching This Guy and His Point of View. Please comment, rate, and subscribe.
So Mel Gibson is a crazy alcoholic anti-Semite. And that's pretty much where it ends for him, unfortunately. He was a great actor in his time, and that's how I feel about it. Whether he what he believes and what he does on his own time is his own business, and I don't really give a shit. Road Warrior is one of my favorite movies. The Lethal Weapon series is still a great series. Well, the fourth one wasn't that great, but the first two anyways. And Braveheart was still a great movie. I loved The Passion of the Christ. It was a great, even if you take it as just a story, it was still really well done. And that's pretty much my feelings on the subject. This is me. I'm out.